So in leadership, it's going to be really important for you to understand what someone's personality type is so that you know how they like to be spoken to. So if you are in a relationship with a D, if you are leading a D, or if the D is your client, or if the D is your spouse, this is what Ds tend to like. They want their goals and objectives to be supported. And they're going to have high goals. They're going to have aggressive goals. Keep your relationship business-like. All right. They want to keep it because they're a guarded type. They want to keep it, if it's in business, on a professional level. Do not bring feelings into the mix. Basically, because Ds don't really care. And that's not a bad thing. That's just the way Ds are wired. And I've said this before. However, though, if you are in a relationship with a D and a D has hurt your feelings, it's definitely okay to tell them how you feel, but don't try to motivate a D by pulling on their heartstrings or motivating them by how something might feel, because you're probably not going to get anywhere there. Recognize their ideas, right? Keep it about them. They are a smart business person, right? And make your conversations with them very, very short. I learned this the hard way. Even though D is my secondary type, because I lead with my I can get really wordy. And my Rainmaker team leader on a team that I was on, I sent her this really long email, and I mean, she just flew off the handle at me. And a coworker of mine who was her best friend was like, yeah, don't do that anymore. Like, she is going to lose patience. And honestly, I've gotten to that point myself too, where if I see this big, long email, it's just going to lose me. I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to say, all right, we need to talk this out. What is going on? Make sure that you have your thoughts and your act together when you are communicating with and in relationship with a D. All right. Now, when you're in relationship with I's, you're going to have to help rein an I in. Count on your appointments being a little longer. Also, though, don't allow them to totally run over the time. So it's okay to set deadlines with I's, but they're going to want to talk about everything else before they get to the nitty gritty. Once they talk about the nitty gritty, once they get there, they're going to be good. And this is very true. Yeah, you're usually not going to win an argument with somebody who leads with their I. I's just have a way with words. It's a great idea to follow up with I's, because I's think that they can manage everything in their head, and they'll walk away from a conversation and won't remember what was talked about, right? So make sure you summarize things in writing. And that is as well if they're clients, or if you are their leader, or if you've got kids who lead with their I, or friends. Just keep that in mind. You have to move fast, because squirrel, you're going to lose an I very fast. And it's okay to bring feelings into it with I's, and use testimonials to help them. Well, you know what? So-and-so felt that way. But then what they found is that worked for them. So I think this is a challenge that you can take on. So that's how you handle and work with I's. Now, S's. Those are those warm types, right? And it's going to take a little time for the relationship to warm up, okay? And you speak a little slower and drop your excitement level a little bit. And instinctively, I just did that, because when I'm talking with and about S's, I know that that's what they need, right? Discuss feelings with them. You're not going to discuss as much facts. Make sure you take their feelings into account. They want you to ask them how they are doing and how their family is and how their pets are. And because they are so risk adverse and very security minded, you're going to have to make sure that they are comfortable moving forward with whatever plan you have in place, okay? Because it's big for S's to step outside of their comfort zone. All right, in relationship with C's, make sure that you have everything that you need, and that You can't throw out random, inaccurate data or stats to Cs, because they're going to want to see your source and they want to make sure it's accurate. And support them in the way they make their decisions. This makes total sense to them. And look, that's why probably 100% of the inventors and scientists in our world all led with their C, because they are so careful. We need those people that are careful with their decisions and demonstrate through actions, whether other than words. You're going to be better off showing them and demonstrating and still maintaining that professional atmosphere. Be prepared. Make sure you have your stuff together. Talk about pros and cons, list advantages and disadvantages. If you lead with your gut, go into logic some with people who lead with their C. And as I said, make sure that you can back up the information, your data. You can't just throw stats out there if you think you're close. They need precision. And provide a foolproof plan, because man, if they're on board, they are on board and they will go for it. Be thorough and be well prepared when you're in relationships with Cs, whether you're leading them, whether you're working alongside of them, whether that is your partner in life, or whether it's your friend or actually a client.